Hey everyone, welcome to Learn Analytics. If you're a subscriber of ours, welcome back. If you're new to our channel, hey, it's great to have you. Today's talk is going to be about why business or understanding the business perspective of things is really important for data professionals or up and coming data professionals. A lot of you who are starting out in your data journey, you're learning about SQL, Python, but it's also important to understand what a company cares about. What is their value proposition? And so we're going to be talking about that today. If you don't want to miss out on our future videos or future content, be sure to subscribe to our channel down below. It's a red button that says subscribe. Click on it. You won't miss any of our future videos. And as always, if you can like our video to help out the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get started. Hey, Hubert, how's it going today?
Hey, Jackson, doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Well, I'm starting off in my data career, and I hear that data tools like SQL, Python are the only thing that matters. Like, what do you think about that? Is that true?
Mm, I don't think so. I think
You don't think
we're
so?
we're we're a bit off there. I think we're
Why,
a bit
why do you
off.
say that? Why do you say that? Like, what do you think actually matters then?
First of all, I think a component that matters for to be a good, successful data analyst or data scientist is really like how do you drive value for the business. I think the business perspective is actually very important. Yeah.
Got
Your
it, got
your
it.
thoughts? Your thoughts to that? Have you thought about that
Yeah.
before? Or
Well, I'm no longer a beginner anymore. Yeah, as a data scientist, I think when I first started off, I thought the tools were all that mattered, like Python, machine learning, statistics, and so forth. But the more and more I worked at companies, the more and more I understood that you needed to drive value, to your point. You needed to understand what the business cared about, because that's ultimately they have two goals, right, Hubert? Like one, they want to make money, and two, they want to save money. So it's just how can the data tools that you understand help the business
Mhm.
work towards those two goals?
Yeah, yeah. I'm 100% aligned there. A lot of times, like even though in a job description they're like you need to know Python, you need to know R, you need to know all type of SQL databases and stuff. I mean, those are like very important, right, for your job. But really, like when you're working with the stakeholders, right, and it could be product manager, it could be all types of different various stakeholders. Like it's like how do you use data to help them drive value, right? Value just as in like what you said, could be a cost saving type of value, right? Or how could you generate a better revenue, type of for the company, right? These are just like high examples, but I think like people, especially analysts and scientists, should like focus on problems to help the company sort of like push forward, right? That's why they're hiring for these roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they hire because they have present problems that need to be solved. And then a data analyst, data scientist, they walk in to help them frame the problem. They
Mm-hmm.
use data to solve that problem
Mm-hmm.
to help the company or business save money or make more money.
Yeah. And then
That way
just
you're,
yeah, another thought to add on top of that is like why data analysts and data scientists are like such a sort of like growing and still such a hot field, right? Is really like they're usually very objective, right? And that's very important, right? Why do companies need um, us, right? Is because they need people who can use data to back up decisions, right? Like you might have an opinion on thing, I might have an opinion, right? But like really, we have to look at our historical data or look at our data set to really like what is the right decision for that we should make, right? The one that should be cost saving, the one that should be leading to better revenue, right? Or the one that should solve this problem the best. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, those are all good points. And like with the years building up, like we're just seeing data grow, right? The amount of data across the globe, across companies are just growing. And so the need for business intelligence analysts, data scientists is only growing, right? Um, Cool. So maybe we can talk about some examples. Maybe we could talk about some of the old companies that we worked at, and maybe we'll quiz each other. Maybe I can talk about a company that I used to work for. And presently, Hubert, you're a business intelligence analyst. Maybe you can quiz you on how you would interview for my company and how you would think about the business and what they do and
Hmm.
what you would be doing as a business intelligence with data tools, but also your business acumen. How does that
Mm.
sound?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Do you want to bring up, share the screen or something? We'll
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah. Let me
that.
pull up my old company for you.
Sounds good.
So let me know when you see my screen.
Yeah, I see it.
So I used to work at a company called Castlight Health. And the best way I can frame the company is that we work with other companies such as Google, such as PepsiCo, and we want to create this healthcare hub for them to for their employees to browse healthcare. And
Mm.
so what do you think would be a possible like business goal of ours as a business and intelligence analyst?
Mm. Got it. Very interesting. I actually don't know much about Gaslight Health.
That's okay. That's okay.
Um, but I think, like you said, right? It seems like you guys work with, pretty big enterprise organizations, and then try to create. Is it correct? Like create like a healthcare solution? Is it
Yeah, exactly.
for their employees, right? For like Google or for like X company and their employees.
Yeah.
Got it.
So to give you some context, their employees can look within our tool to look for doctors. If they have an elbow injury, they can look up an MRI of the lower back, of
Mm,
the elbow, or some
mm,
other body part. Like if they have lower back pain, they can go to a chiropractor. And so these employees, they can look for cheap prices, or they can look for different doctors. They can look for
mm,
a bunch of other things. They can look for vaccine
mm,
locations that they can go
mm,
to.
mm,
Another aspect of it is that employees can track their steps every day,
mm.
and then they'll get points for it. And then those points, you can redeem those points for like gift cards. So like, let's say you
Got it.
walked 100,000 steps, maybe you'll get $100 in Target gift cards for that. And so as a
Got it.
business intelligence analyst, like what do you think a Google or PepsiCo might care about?
Mm, mm. Yeah, no, good question. I think I always start first trying to understand the business. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to ask the questions to understand what this business is, right? And then my first thoughts to it is really like, it sounds like first, like Google or X big company wants to work with Castlight is, serve their employees better, right? And improve their health, right? And that's ultimately sort of the goal, right? Why they want to partner up with Castlight. Right. I think that's super important to know, right? Because I think some of their analytics for Castlight is going to be like, how do we serve um, the customers, right? In our case, the customers are these big X enterprise companies, right?
Yep.
And their employees, right? So like, I'm sure there's like metrics and analytics, like are they happy with our service, right?
Yep.
Are they using the service, right? Are they happy about it? What are they happy about, right? Like, is it some functionality in the tools that they have, I don't know, easy access to all the healthcare available in their area, or some metrics around engagement, right? Or customer net promoter scores. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. Maybe
Yeah,
Jackson,
that
you could
is
add on
no,
to it.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Net promoter score is something we used to measure how receptive these companies were to, promote our product to other companies. And so, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Um, and so that's a great take from a BI analyst perspective. Some other things to add are reporting. Like we did a bunch of reporting to our customer success managers, and so typically as data people, like some of you watching right now, you're going to be data people. You're going to be working a lot with these business people who care about metrics. And so one thing you might be producing are reports, metrics, just to see if you're hitting some top level goals. Because if you're not hitting those goals, then your customer success manager might have to go to Google and say, oh, we're not doing that well. Well, Google's not going to work with Castlight Health anymore if those
Mm-hmm.
metrics aren't met. And so,
Mm-hmm.
as a data analyst, data scientist, you have to really be thinking proactively. You really have to
Mm-hmm.
be thinking about what's leading these metrics to be failing, and
Mm-hmm.
so like how can we work on these metrics and how to improve the business, how to make sure that Google is paying us an annual recurring revenue by raising some of these metrics that we're not doing so well in. Yeah, really good. The one thing I want to add is, yeah, even as a data scientist, like for myself, one thing to think about is like, what are some of the companies that might be interested in working with us by analyzing some of the existing customers that we have, like from size as a feature, from revenue as a feature, from using that as and building a model for prospective clients is something that a data scientist may be able to do. Um, cool. Hubert, is there an old company that you want to quiz me on, and I can maybe take a stab at how I would understand your business, and
Yeah,
kind of
sounds
tackle
good.
it from a data science perspective?
Sounds good. Is there a? I was thinking, could we actually look at? Do they have like some open roles or something in Castlight?
Uh,
Like even think.
they have a lot of resources.
It's good. Yeah. No, I mean the resources is also like a good, especially for folks who are like trying to apply to these jobs, right? Like just looking through their website and what they're posting, right? It seems like they just hired a VP of analytics as a resource right there, actually, on the
Oh,
Q&A.
let's see.
Yeah, on the right hand side.
Oh, nice.
VP
Yeah,
of, VP
see.
of analytics and operation.
Yeah, so I think Hubert's just saying data is growing. Data is
Yeah.
growing, really important. Here's careers.
Yeah.
Um,
This is a good
so
way to learn about how even analyst roles like sit within the company, right?
yeah,
And you have marketing teams, you have customer experience teams. Um, yeah, I mean, we could dive into one of my past experiences too.
yeah, let's do
Want
that.
to do that?
Let's do that.
Yeah, we can look up Medix,
How do I spell that?
MEDIX.
MEDIX.
Yeah, they got we got a region in San Diego.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so like Medix, I used to work there as like an analyst. It's pretty much a staffing company. So in the sort of like workforce components, so hiring, helping hiring the best talent for healthcare, mainly healthcare. So what's your thoughts in how analytics might look like there, Jackson? Or I can fill in anything later. So
Yeah, so you guys work with businesses to hire the best healthcare talent, is that right?
yeah, so we work with think of your Cigna of the world, your your various healthcare companies. A lot of healthcare, Cigna, Blue Shield, Blue Cross, right,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Clients to hire roles for them on sort of like a contract or full time position.
Okay. Okay.
So
So, correct me at any point of my, hypothesis, okay? So my initial thoughts are that when you hire people, you want them to stay for a good amount of time. You don't want to hire someone for only 6 months. I mean, if it's only contractor, sure, only 6 months is fine. But ultimately, I think you want to hire talented people for at least 2 to 3 years, because training someone is going to be expensive. Because if they leave, then you just wasted maybe a month or two by training them, and now you have to train another person. That's going to waste a lot of time before they even get to a productive state. And so, as a data scientist, I think one thing that would be valuable to medics is maybe some attrition analysis, attrition modeling, just to
Mm-hmm.
understand what are some of the features that lead to people leaving right away.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
for Cigna, let me look at your past 5 years worth of data. Let me predict the employees that would leave your company, and let me use those same features and kind of understand the market of folks that are applying to Cigna in the future,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a little bit biased in terms of my interpretation of who to hire, and it might eliminate some good candidates. But at the same time, we're bringing in great candidates by looking at some of the features that were like in the past. Like, who are some of those folks that stay for a long time at Cigna? Let's
Mm-hmm.
let's grab those same people from the job candidate pool and
Mm-hmm.
bring and hire them for Cigna. And so I think a business goal for some of these companies is maybe low attrition rates, maybe people who are willing to stay long term.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you're saving money because you're not wasting time on training.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, like what were some valuable, like, was that right? Like, what were some of the valuable metrics that you guys use at Medics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think you're definitely right on the spot. I think it's very important you're able to identify talent that your client wants to hire, right? Like one of the things is like we have a lot of metrics with as a sort of like a pipeline or a funnel, right? So like we want to like uh make that cycle as small as possible, right? So like we want to have less interview calls, right? We want to
Right.
generate a higher return or higher success rate of hiring someone, right? And then we want this person that we hired with the client and the client to be really happy, right? Like similar to net promoter score, right? We want the client to come back and work with us and hire more people, right? So like those things matter. And as well as like you said, we don't want to hire someone that's like in 1 month in, like this person is like I don't want to work here,
Right.
and then we have to start the whole cycle again, right? So like that's a lot of work on our side and a lot of costs that we have to eat up, right?
Got it. Got it. Yeah,
So
because
yeah.
it sounds, because hiring itself is very expensive, right? Like, you have to pay
Yep.
recruiters to find these talented workers, but then
Yep. Yep.
the more calls they have to do is just wasting time, and wasting time is equivalent to wasting money for a company.
Yep. And then some
Got it.
other stuff that you were I think already going to tap on a little bit is like using a lot of like industry specific metrics, right? Things like how are we performing against our competitors, right? As in like okay, what and also another thing we're curious is like what are like really like the top growing jobs in the coming years, right? Or coming, because we want to hire and be ahead of the curve, right?
Mm,
So like if you think about COVID, I'm sure like COVID has helped the company, even though I don't work there anymore, right? But it's healthcare, right? There's just a lot
yeah.
higher demand for healthcare workers, right? So I don't know if it helped or it didn't, but like my hypothesis would be it's enabling that process, right? But yeah, so
Sure. Sure.
yeah.
Um, did we want to look at some postings here, or I don't know, what did we want to jump into that, or explore jobs?
Sure. Or I was thinking we could look at like I think we were gonna say we're gonna look at like one sample company, right? That like either of us really
Okay.
like have an experience with, but then try to walk it through uh with the viewers.
Okay,
What we
I
might think
think
about.
a previous video that you and I did was how to apply to jobs as a data analyst, and I think one of the companies we covered was something called Shipped. And so why don't we jump into their company and see what they do?
Sure.
Get the things you need from stores you trust. So it seems like they are a shipping company. Um, they
Yeah.
work with grocers, big like Target, Costco.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see what this is about. Okay, so there's a customer side of things, and then also someone who's an employee who will deliver it. Okay.
For ship. Yeah. In 20 minutes. Pretty quick.
Okay. So I guess as a business intelligence analyst, Hubert, like what are some things that come to mind in terms of, importance or like business goals? Like what do you think you would be doing at the company?
Yeah, I think a lot of it would be like really first it depends on how much you know about the industry or the company,
Mm,
right? So like if you have some prior knowledge about just like how delivery services work, or maybe you doing some research about how delivery services work, right? Like it might give you some thoughts like how do we look at metrics, right? So like off my head for shipped, it's like really like it's a delivery service, right? It's part of um, a segment of Target, right? So like really they care about how can someone order um, whatever they're ordering through maybe Costco or CVS, right? And then
mhm.
how can they get that delivery service to them as fast as possible, right? So I think
Yeah.
one way of the metric is like, are they, the customer requesting it at this time, are they getting fulfilled at that time, right? Or same day delivery service, right? How fast can it be like that? Because ultimately that matters a lot to the customer, and if they're going to be satisfied with ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, your thoughts, adding anything to
Yeah.
it? So.
I think one thing that comes to mind for me is the value proposition here is that they are offering convenience to you. Like they want to help you not think about going grocery shopping yourself, right? They're
Hmm.
you're basically paying shipped to deliver goods to you for a small fee or big fee, whatever it may be. But they're giving you this kind of value proposition of under 20 minutes or around 20 minutes. And
Hmm.
so I think as a data scientist, what I would kind of want to understand is what what are some of the stores or departments or types of stores that are doing really well in under 20 minutes? What are the types of I saw something earlier here, get paid to shop. So my understanding is that they hire folks to shop for people and deliver it, right? So I think
Hmm.
one thing I might want to understand as a data scientist is what types of drivers are really successful. So what
Hmm.
types of features do they, represent? What kind of cars do they drive? Like, are they driving
Hmm. Hmm.
Toyotas? Is that why they're
Hmm.
making these on-time
Hmm.
deliveries? Are they driving 1967 Volkswagens? Is that why they're doing
Hmm.
so poorly? Like, what's the correlation there?
Yeah.
And so
Are they driving self-driving vehicles?
yeah, that could be it. That could be it, right? And so I think understanding the business as a data person is very important because you want to understand how shipped makes money.
Mm,
You want to understand how
mm,
shipped
mhm,
saves money, right?
mhm,
Because
mhm,
if you mess up an order, you might lose some customers and that
mhm,
might lead to you losing
mhm,
more money.
mhm,
And
mhm,
so I think
mhm,
business really matters is what we've covered all of today,
mhm,
Hubert. Like what do you
mhm.
think?
Yeah, no, thanks for just like bringing it back. Like it's think about the business questions first, right? So
Hmm.
like whenever you guys asked about like what metrics should we care about or what KPIs should we care about, I think it's first about like what are we trying to solve, right? What
Yeah,
is the
what are we trying
what
to
it,
solve?
yeah, like what are we what in the business world do you need? Then think about what metrics go with it, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
greatest scenario, maybe like customers are unhappy with us, that like maybe a lot of the percentage of our deliveries are going beyond 20 minutes, right? So that's like and something that you can think about how to quantify it, right? Like, oh, what percentage of our orders are getting fulfilled above 20 minutes, right? Or what
Mm,
orders are getting filled like less than 20 minutes, right? Or even less than 10 minutes, right? So then you understand, oh yeah, that problem might look like it's a 5% problem, right? Which is very good. Or it might be a 20% problem, right? Which could be a big issue.
yeah.
So giving an example for folks who might have not thought that way yet, but it's something to develop. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of Shipped, or should we wrap up in terms of like why understanding the business matters?
yeah, I think like yeah, like back to understanding the business matters. I think we gave great examples. Like, is there any other stuff you want to add, Jackson? Or
No, I think if I had to sum this video up, just a few ideas is as a data person, you guys are aspiring to be data people. Understanding the business is very important. And some people think, well, I don't have any experience with that field. Like, what do I do? And Huber and I just showed you guys that we simply looked at their website, tried to understand as a business what are they looking to accomplish. Shipped, they're looking to just be good about their delivery times. They're looking to just be quality deliveries, right? And that's really what the business is offering. It's convenience, it's quality deliveries. And so similarly for you guys, you really need to understand what businesses care about, how they are trying to save money, one, and two, how they are trying to make money, revenue. And so as a data person, as long as you can focus on those two things, you're going to be very successful. And the tools that you guys will learn along the way, such as SQL, such as Python, it will just help you understand, help the business or drive the business towards working towards those goals.
like that totally makes sense, Jackson. Like, thanks for giving that overall summary. Hope everyone enjoyed this edition of Learn Analytics, and thanks for watching.